And they thought, no. They much preferred to buy from traditional butchers because they trusted the traditional butcher that if they said it was halal, it was halal. And then again, I was in Australia, as I mentioned, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was marketing director for a Queensland beef exporter who exports to Malaysia and throughout Southeast Asia. And I said to Glenn, what's the halal process like for the cattle you kill in Queensland? And he said, 100%. We follow all the protocols. And what's more, we have Malaysian butchers doing the... And I said, do you tell anybody that? I said, no. I said, well, why wouldn't you tell somebody that? Why wouldn't there be a picture of that? Why wouldn't you claim that in the supermarket if the number one thing driving preference is this concern about the halal process? I mean, it's a clear marketing plus. So confidence in the halal process, smell, cleanliness, and color of the meat, competitive price and value, of course, that's important. And then confidence in the beef production process. In Malaysia, there's this sort of constant fear that there's been something added, like hormones. And, you know, as we all know, hormones don't have to be scary, but the fact of the matter is their perception is that don't mess with fresh food. And what about in Canada? What are the major factors influencing Malaysian shoppers, Canadian shoppers? Carrie took a quick look at your consumer retail meat study did last year. It's about convenience, it's about family acceptance, and it's about price, because safety and quality are given. So as I look around the world, there's different drivers of demand. And we've got to, you know, if we're in the export market, clearly we've got to know about them. And so what concerns me about, I'm not anti-beef, I'm in fact very positive, but what worries me about beef internationally is if I look at its price at the moment, it's about double the price internationally and more of pork. So it's more than, you know, double the price of the next protein down. And I'm saying what we've got to be able to say to emerging nation consumers as we've got our beef on a plate in front of them is say, you should be willing to pay twice as much for this beef as you do for the same amount of pork because. Finish the sentence for me. Because. This beef is worth twice as much per kilo per serving as pork because. Now, it's not my business to know what the answer is, but I know we've got to have an answer. Or else, I'm not stupid. Or why would I buy it? It's twice the price. And often remember, what they do is slicing it extremely thinly, covering it in a delicious sauce. You wouldn't know if it was bloody pork or beef anyway. There we go. It's just, that's the marketing challenge for my mind. Back we go to developed countries. So, you know, what about the demographic profile of developed countries? I told you here's the column, and what is all that about? I'm the representative, here we are, 63-year-olds, never been kissed, as they say, and so, you know, there's a lot like me. Whereas much of the net worth, it's in the baby boomer population. Is that a good thing? Well, you know, it's a damn good target, but there are problems there. If you look, US data here, I mean, the fact of the matter is, as we get older, we consume less fast food. And I would suggest in the fast food business, the quick service restaurants of North America must face this every day. As they see this aging profile, is how can we make fast food relevant to the baby boomers? And I think that's a real challenge too. I mean, again, back to McDonald's, I think they do this well. Here we are in Australia, where they've got an offer, just like Mum used to make, where it's sort of, ham, cheese, and tomato sandwiches, for example. Hang on, this is McDonald's. Or this is a McCafe. You know, that's, you've got to go to night school to work out what coffee you want in McDonald's nowadays. And I can assure you that's a long, long, long way away from what Ray Kroc envisaged McDonald's being in the 1950s when he opened his first store. Was it in Chicago? Americans whimsically call it Des Plaines, the Des Plaines, Chicago. That's the actual one. It's a museum now. And the other thing, look, just a quick word, and I'll come back to it, on, again, this diversity of consumer interest, preference for tastes, because of history, heritage, traditions relating to food, but also if we take this more esoteric stuff, these sort of ethical product attributes, as we call it. And this is just from the UK, a survey I was looking at last year. What is relevant for the UK is not necessarily relevant for, say, Japan or for Spain, for that matter. So what's our particular interest in the UK? Free range. We like free range in the UK, and not just for hens. We like happy pigs as well as happy hens. Locally produced is a big deal right round the world, huge. It's about recyclable packaging. Animal welfare is a relatively big deal in the UK, whereas it's not in Spain to anywhere near the same extent, and that's just across the road, so to speak. Fair trade, yes, organic, but you see, it depends where you are. And again, let's look at the emerging markets. Is there concern about animal welfare in emerging markets? Not really. No, you can see that when you go to a Walmart and they're, just decapitating the chickens, or thumping the fish to death. But it will come. It will come. So just a quick word here. This is an old slide for me, but I want to just pick up on two things. That whenever I look at consumer trends around the world and see a major megatrend going in one direction, you can bet your bottom dollar there will be an alternative counter trend going in the opposite direction, but not necessarily of the same size. And the only two I want to pick up on here is there's this middle bit of this slide saying that individual families can operate from both ends of the continuum. So, for example, Tuesday and Wednesday is about ready-to-eat, fast food, fuel food, just for me food. Get on with it, lad. You've got soccer in 15 minutes. Brenda, you've got ballet. No, I don't know where it comes from. Just eat it, girl. That's Wednesday food. And then you've got weekend food, special food, which is about traditional, where we want to say, didn't it used to taste better, where it's natural, less processed, it's slow food, it's story food, it's friends and family food, where food is the hero, the heroine, where we want to talk about it round the table. That's what the TV programs are all about. And one of them is intrinsically premium price, that's the right-hand side, and one is more value-driven, that's the left-hand side. But they both operate at the same time in the same family within the same week. And so, for example, we can be a consumer shopper at one stage, and then a bit later on, you're a citizen shopper. And what's the difference there? A consumer shopper, a citizen, let me look on citizen shopper. Personally, I'm passionate about sustainability and the environment and that sort of green stuff at the weekend. I know I should be on Wednesday, but I haven't got time then. So, it's all within the same brain we can go through here. And so, this is where the opportunities are. There are clear opportunities on both sides. From an Alberta perspective, clearly in the market, you're going to be operating from both sides. This is about value. This is about premium. This is about story. This is much more functional. And it's that sort of story end which I think is sort of brilliant, because that's where the margin is. That if you go this right-hand side here, if you go sort of, you can sniff margin here. That's where it is. Why not? And so who's the hero? Who's the heroine? Well, sometimes it's the country. I'm not English, I'm Welsh. And I'm proud to be Welsh. I live in Wales, I was born in Wales. And so Welsh beef has its own denomination within the European Union. So Welsh beef has got this certifies that it's produced, processed in Wales. Out of interest, most of you will know, but we have our own language. Not everybody speaks Welsh, but it's a long way from English. So actually Welsh beef in Welsh is Sigaidion Cymru, which doesn't sound a lot like Welsh beef, but there we go. So so sometimes it's the country that's the hero, the heroine. And it's not just the UK. I put this in because I find this sort of vaguely amusing. Here we are. Australians love to love their own food. And I don't know, I always giggle when I see this laid in Australia. It somehow reminds me of backpackers. There we go. Australians are particularly good at convincing the 21 million Australians that live in Australia that if food comes from anywhere else apart from Australia, it's probably going to poison you. And talk about a bloody good non-tariff barrier. It's just brilliant. You guys, pork, for example, is a strong view. Canadian pork probably poison you. It's not quite as poisonous as New Zealand apples, but it's close. Yeah, New Zealand apples, so you don't even have to eat them. They'll kill you if you look at them. Or in my country, so sometimes the animal is the hero, the heroine. A heroine in this particular case. And these are weekend eggs. Clarence Court, it's the ad out of the magazine. Fabulous eggs by fabulous birds. And they are brilliant. We buy them in little boxes of 4 down here, and it's for that special weekend breakfast. What do they cost? I don't know, lots. Does it matter? No, it's about the story. Or the French have always been good at this. And here, she's the heroine. It's the cow. If we took milk from any old cow, we'd just be any old cheese. Isn't that brilliant? What I'm saying is, I would suggest, and without being disparaging, you are from a commodity background. You're not the best at telling stories. If you want to operate in the premium end, you've got to learn how to tell stories that are relevant to consumers. And here we are, Comté cheese. If we took milk from any old cow, we'd just be any old cheese. Brilliant. Just the job. Or here we are, back to my country. The name of the hen is whimsically Frida Rome. Happy Egg Company farm resident. What shall I do today? Run, jump, or play? Imagine you're a hen on the Happy Egg Company farm. It's about, I'm only allowed to buy happy eggs. And indeed, happy pigs. We're only allowed happy pig meat in the Hughes household. Happy pigs, here we are, plantation pigs, and I like their up in front, superior meat from pigs with superior lifestyles. If I bring anything else back apart from plantation pigs, I'm sent packing. And if, as I did stupidly, remember, I'm not home often. Actually, it carries more than 200 days. It's about 280 days I'm away from home. So when I'm at home, I try to do what I'm told but I can't stop myself. It's very male. If I go shopping, which I like to do, I'm so torn to the value offer. And when I come back and I don't have the happy pigs, and Susan says, "What's that?" I say, it was on special. It's pork. It was half the price. And then she looks at me, the eyes narrow, she says, "And your point?" Because I don't get it. I don't get it now. Does it matter to us for that special meal? No, we want to pay more, for more. And the story is the more. So, this is the last dismal bit. Look, for my mind, I think this is just common sense. It doesn't mean that it has to be bad for the industry. I would suggest that in developed countries, we're going to see little, if any, market growth for meat and dairy products going forward. Now, why do I believe that? Because the population growth is slow or declining. That's one. Two, there are people of my age here, of a certain age. Do you notice something as you get older? Eat less. You just do. It's as simple as that. So population growth slow or declining, aging population with reduced food intake. In many places there are concerns about meat and fat and the impact on health. This more esoteric stuff, which is debatable of course, but these social pressures, concern about greenhouse gas intensive products, and then this guilt about inefficient red meat in a food insecure world. Is it moral to feed grain into to beef cattle to produce inefficiently red meat? I never thought, when I was living in Canada for 10 years, 1973 to 1983, you never saw grass-fed beef being advertised. What do you get now from Whole Foods in the US and in Canada? The special, the premium end, grass-fed beef. Never thought I'd see it. You are. You're seeing it.